Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Math Time. Today we are talking about a new concept. Today we are talking about a concept that is called capacity. Capacity. Capacity has to do with how much an object can hold. So if I took this water bottle and filled it up with water, the amount of water it holds is the capacity. The capacity means how much a container can hold of something. Let's look at the learning target and success criteria. So the learning target today is I can compare the capacities of two objects. And the way that you'll know you're successful with that is if you can explain how to compare the capacities of two objects. If you can tell whether two objects have the same capacity, and if you can tell whether an object holds more or less than another object. All right, let's get started. So I want you to look at these two objects I'm holding. These are just metal containers. And if you notice, they are not the same size. If I hold them right next to each other, can you see which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Take a look at them. Is the green one bigger or is the pink one bigger? The green one is bigger. Now, if you look, the green one's bigger. So which one do you think would hold more water? Do you think the green one would hold more water? Or do you think the pink one would hold more water? I think the green one would hold more water. Let's take a look at it this way. Here they are side by side. All right, if you look at these objects, you can see the green one is bigger than the pink one. And if I took a bunch of water and filled up the green one with water and then filled up the pink one with water, which one would have more water? The green one would, because it has more capacity. It has a greater capacity. The small one has less of a capacity. The capacity talks about how much something can hold. Let's compare the capacity of my hand sanitizer bottles. I'm going to show you two hand sanitizer bottles, and I want you to tell me which one has a greater capacity. So here's one. This is a hand sanitizer bottle. I'll put it here for you to see. This is hand sanitizer. Okay. Here's another one. This is hand sanitizer also. It's a big, huge hand sanitizer container that I keep in my classroom. Okay. You can't even see this whole bottle because it's very, very large. Which one of these bottles has a greater capacity? Is it this one or is it this one? The big one has a greater capacity. This one holds more. The little one has a smaller capacity. It holds less. When we talk about capacity, we're talking about how much the container can hold. All right, next thing I want to do is show you 4 cups. And I want you to help me to arrange them in the order of capacity, from the one that can hold the most to the one that can hold the least. We are going to pretend that each of these cups can get filled with coffee. Mrs. McKenzie likes coffee. So I want to figure out what cup could hold the most coffee and what cup could hold the least coffee. Okay, so I will show you my cups. I'll show you this one first. This is an actual Starbucks cup. It's empty now, but this was from my coffee today. So I'm going to put this one over here. Okay, this is actually a pretend mug. I wouldn't actually put coffee in here because this is made out of wood, but I will put this over here. This is also not something I would really put coffee in, but this is a plastic cup to use with toys. And then this maybe would be okay for some iced coffee, some cold coffee. So this is a cup I'm going to put over here too. Okay, please take a look at all of my cups. I want to know which one has the greatest capacity, and I want to put them in order from greatest down to the least. Who can tell me which of these 4 cups has the greatest capacity out of all of them? All right, it is this one with the red writing. This is the biggest cup. This one holds the most coffee. It has the greatest capacity. Which is next? Which would be next? Which would be the next greatest after that one? Yes, it would be the Starbucks cup, right? It's a little bit smaller. This is a little bit bigger, and this is a little bit smaller. So this capacity is bigger. This capacity is a little bit less. Now, who can tell me what one would be next? It would be the wooden mug. The wooden mug would come next. And finally, we know this would be the last one. So now we have these cups in order of capacity. This one can hold the most. This one can hold the least. When we are talking about capacity, we are thinking about how much can an object hold. This one has the biggest capacity. This one has the smallest capacity. All right, I'm going to move these things out of the way. I'm going to try to fix my document camera to actually show my paper. While I do that, you could get your book out and turn your book to page 671. Page 671 is where we're starting today. There we go. Okay, so your page looks like this, and you don't have the same cards I have, but you can just look at your paper and follow along. So I have some pictures here. I have a big barrel. I have a pot. I have a swimming pool. I have a bathtub. Can you see the bathtub? Oh, you can't see the bathtub. There we go. I have a bathtub. I have a spoon. And I have a mug. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, what I need is for some of you to help me figure out how each of these items compares with the capacity of the bucket. Okay, so right here it says holds less. So if I have some pictures up here that can hold less water than my bucket, the picture is going to go up here. If I have some pictures down here that can hold more water than the bucket, the picture is going to go down here. All right, so let's start with the bathtub. Does the bathtub hold more water than the bucket or less water than the bucket? It holds more water than the bucket. It's going to go down below. The bathtub has a greater capacity than the bucket. What about the barrel? Could this barrel hold more water or less water than the bucket? More water, because it has a greater capacity than the bucket. What about my pot? Can my pot hold more water or less water than the bucket? Less water, because my pot has a smaller capacity than the bucket. How about my mug? Does my mug hold more water or less water than the bucket? Less water, because my mug has a smaller capacity than the bucket. What about my swimming pool? Does my swimming pool hold more water or less water than the bucket? It holds more water than the bucket because my swimming pool has a larger or a greater capacity than the bucket. And finally, the spoon. Does the spoon hold more water or less water than the bucket? Less water, because the spoon has a smaller capacity than the bucket. All right, please turn your page to page 672. You're going to see a page that looks like this. Now, this first one is already done. You can see the dog says holds more, and the cat says holds less. And so the instructions for this one are to circle the object that holds more, the object that has the greater capacity. This is already done, but we know that a bucket can hold more than a shovel. Okay, for this one, we have this tall measuring cup and this short measuring cup. I would like you to draw a line through the object that holds less. Does this hold less or does this hold less? This one holds less. It's smaller and cannot hold as much water as the bigger one. Now here we have two recycling bins. My question for you is, do the recycling bins hold the same amount as each other? If you think they do, circle thumbs up. If you think they do not, circle thumbs down. I can see they are the exact same size. They are equal, so yes, their capacity is the same. They can hold the same amount. All right, take a look at the next page. On this next page, I want to just look at the top two. Actually, I'm going to grab my whiteboard to cover up the ones we're not looking at. So let's just look at these first of all. I want you to circle the object that holds more. Does this Ziploc bag hold more or does this green bag hold more? Which one holds more? I can tell that this holds more because it's much bigger. What about these two, the pot and the pan? Which one holds more? Does the pot hold more or does the pan hold more? Yeah, the pot holds more. It's much bigger, so we circle the one that has a greater capacity and holds more. Let's take a look at these two. This time, we are looking to see which one has the smaller capacity, and we're going to draw a line through it. That means I want you to draw a line through the object that holds less. Does this hold less or does this hold less? That holds less. It's much smaller. What about with the trash cans? Which trash can has the smaller capacity? That means which trash can holds less? This trash can holds less. It is much smaller. It cannot hold as much as this one. The big one has a greater capacity. Okay, take a look at the milk jugs. Here's my question. Do the milk containers hold the same amount as each other? If you think they do, that's a thumbs up. If you think they do not, that's a thumbs down. What do you think? Do the milk jugs hold the same amount as each other? No, they do not. This milk jug is much smaller. It cannot hold as much milk. This milk jug is much bigger. It has a greater capacity. Okay, take a look at this side. Let's look at these backpacks. What if somebody was going on a camping trip and they had to take a backpack? Which of these backpacks do you think would hold more camping supplies? Can you circle the backpack that holds more supplies? I can tell that this one holds more. How did you know it was this one? It's so much bigger. This backpack is little. It does not fit much at all. This backpack is very large. It has a greater capacity. It can fit more inside of it. All right, now what about this? If someone was going to school, think about this. One of those bags will not hold enough school supplies to go to school. Can you circle the bag that is too small to hold all of the school supplies? Circle the bag that will not hold all that you need to bring to school. This would maybe only fit a snack. It does not have much of a capacity. The capacity is so small, it would not fill up with the school supplies. So that's the one we circle. Okay, we are on to the practice pages. Here we go. Let's take a look at these first of all. On both of these sections in these squares, please circle the object that holds more. So look here and circle the object that holds more, and then look at the buckets and circle the object that holds more. I'm going to do mine over here, and then we're going to check our answers. All right, are these what you circled? This is called a ladle. This ladle has a larger capacity and holds more than that spoon. And this bucket has a larger capacity and holds more than this bucket. Now take a look at the watering cans and the jars. This time you're thinking about the one with a smaller capacity, the one that holds less. Please draw a line through the object that holds less in each of these pictures. I will do mine too. Okay, check your answers with mine. Are those the ones that you drew a line through? This is much smaller and this is much smaller, and so this holds less than the silver one and this holds less than the tall one. Turn your paper over. Take a look at these top two. With these two bowls and then with the swimming pools, answer this question. Do the objects hold the same amount? If you think they hold the same amount, that's a thumbs up. If you think they don't hold the same amount, that's a thumbs down. All right, thumbs up means the capacity is the same. Thumbs down means the capacity is not the same. So I will pull mine away and I will do mine over here off the screen, and you do yours also. Okay, take a look at the two bowls. I can see that the two bowls are the same size as each other. They have the same capacity. So yes, that's a thumbs up. They hold the same amount. Now we have two swimming pools. I see that there's one swimming pool that is very large and one swimming pool that is small. Those do not hold the same amount of water. The capacity is much bigger for the blue swimming pool and much smaller for the orange swimming pool. So that's a thumbs down. They do not have the same capacity. All right, finally, we're thinking about the capacity of these vehicles. Can the bus hold more kids or can the car hold more kids? Please circle the vehicle that can hold the most amount of kids. It has the greatest capacity. If we were going to take a bunch of kids on a field trip, would we do that in the bus or would we do that in the car? Please circle the vehicle that has the greatest capacity. It was the bus. The bus can fit so many people. The capacity on the bus is greater than the capacity in the car. All right, I'm hoping that you are now understanding what the word capacity means. And I hope that you can explain how to compare the capacity of two objects. I hope you can tell me if the capacity of two objects is the same or not. And I hope you can tell me when one object can hold more or can hold less than another object. Great job learning about capacity today.